I am thrilled to report today that I was wrong. Yesterday, I talked about the Yazidi. There's 40,000 of them trapped a mile high on a mountain in northern Iraq. It is basically in and near the Kurdish area. It is not exactly controlled by the Kurds at this point. It was, but ISIS has run them out of that area. And it is an absolute tragedy. These people are stuck. And at the bottom of the mountain is ISIS. And ISIS, of course, Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. They want to establish an Islamic caliphate. They find the Yazidis, which are a different religion, to be devil worshippers because they believe in the peacock angel. God help us all. And if they go down the mountain, they're going to get beheaded. If they stay up on the mountain, they're running out of food and water and they're going to die. And yesterday I said it was one of the most haunting stories because was nearly inconceivable that anyone would help them. The world, since the Kurdish Peshmerga could not hold the area, the world was likely to just leave them there, which was such an unbelievable tragedy. You know what happened today? Turns out there was hope. Now, this is an interesting twist. You know who came to help them? We did, the United States of America. New York Times reporting, we've been bombing ISIS at the bottom of the mountain, and so that the Yazidi can escape. Now, I know that we don't want to get intermingled in Iraq, and I'm the first person to say that. And are we concerned about getting more military intervention in Iraq, which has been a mess, and the more we intervened, the more of a mess it became? Sure, of course, right? But am I glad that they bombed ISIS sitting in the bottom of the mountain? You betcha. Look, if this was the only bombings we did, see, then the world might like us a hell of a lot more. And that's relevant so that they don't bomb us, okay? I know conservatives hate it when the world likes us. Think about that for a second, okay? But it's actually not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And conservatives should be thrilled about this. I mean, he bombed the most radical Islamic jihadists there are in the world, okay? So I just think that's why I'm not just a person who believes in blanket statements, black and white. You never do military intervention. You always do military intervention. It depends. I think that if you're a smart person, you have to do nuance. And in this case, it was an issue that called for nuance. I'm in favor of the bombings. So I hope the Yazidi have a path to escape off that mountaintop now and get some help so they don't starve, so that they don't die of thirst, or they don't die from ISIS. So it turns out there was a cavalry, it was us, and we have arrived. No ground troops, believe me, nobody's in favor of that. But for the moment being, we hope to have cleared a path for the Yazidi to escape. That's 40,000 people, including men, women, and children. Isn't it nice for a change to be the good guys in the world? I mean, if we can somehow get them to escape off that mountain with their lives intact, my guess is that the Yazidi will love us forever. And they're an incredibly small minority group that has really no power. They didn't dislike us to begin with. But doing good in the world is the right thing anyway, right? And it has reverberations. And since the Yazidi are at least ethnically Kurdish, they're not the same religion as most of the Kurds. Most of the Kurds are Sunni Muslim. The Yazidi are a different religion altogether. But my guess is the Kurds would significantly appreciate it. And might they do favorable oil deals with us in return? They have significant oil in northern Iraq where the Kurds rule, sure. But they were probably going to do those deals anyway. It's just good to do good for goodness sake. And even in the most ironic way, by doing bombings. I'm sure that others will disagree and say the consequences will be worse, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, okay, but this is why sometimes I'm a mild interventionist, because sometimes there's 40,000 people trapped on top of a mountain and somebody's got to help them. And I'm proud when it's America.